Today we are going to dive into the dark side of a woman to understand how to awaken a real attraction in her and make it so that she can't get you out of her mind for a second. Have you ever wondered why all your efforts to please, to be perfect for her, so often go unanswered? Because the world is not the way as they try to make it out to be. This video isn't about a bunch of catchphrases and tricks. No, it's about how your inner strength can turn into her longing to be with you. Stay to the end, because this difficult conversation could forever change your relationship and turn you into someone she'll want no matter what. Nocturne's Journal, September 4th, 2024. If you listen to women when they talk about what kind of man they want to see next to them, you can hear a variety of fantasies and desires. Some dream of a man who will be handsome, tall, pumped up, as if coming off the cover of a glossy magazine. He should be successful, rich, so that his presence inspires confidence and stability, like the heroes of movies. Others see next to themselves a romantic, a man with whom you can drown in the evening sunsets, exchanging sweet speeches, immerse in the atmosphere of undying passion. Such a man should surround her with care and attention, arrange surprises, as if their whole life is an endless feast of rose petals. And there are those who dream of reliability, who is looking for a man who will be a real support in life, able to protect and shelter from all the storms that brings harsh reality. They need someone who will take responsibility, become her fortress and shield, the one behind whose walls she will feel safe. But if you ask women the question, what men they loved most in their lives, their answers will reveal to you an unexpected truth. The images of those who left deep wounds in their souls, who caused pain and left scars that they will carry with them all their lives. It will turn out that what they truly loved was not those who were kind, predictable, and reliable, but those who did cruel things to them, abandoned them in their most difficult moments, betrayed them, and left them when they needed them most. These men were unpredictable, complex, did things their own way, without regard for women's feelings, and that's what made them objects of true passion. These men did not try to please, did not put women on a pedestal, but on the contrary, used them as toys, and thus won their hearts, leaving behind only chaos and pain. And there it is, the bitter and inevitable conclusion. Did women love those who matched their beautiful dreams and idealized images? No, not at all. It's a paradox that few dare to recognize. They can say one thing. They can paint in their imagination an ideal man who will be kind, reliable, and caring. But when it comes to real feelings, their heart chooses something else entirely. You see, a woman often doesn't realize what she really wants. She goes after her deepest instincts like an animal blindly chasing prey, trying to satisfy a hunger craving without realizing what really feeds it. If you listen to their words, if you try to conform to these idealized images, you've already lost in this game. The true nature of a woman's desires is hidden much deeper behind the words, behind the superficial images. If you want to truly understand a woman, if you want to win her heart, you do not need to follow what she says. You have to learn to see what is hidden behind the words, to see the truth that hides in the shadows of her consciousness, deep in her instincts and real desires. Only then can you become the one she will truly desire. But men continue to follow what they say, believing the fairy tales they are told, believing that those words are the truth when a woman describes what a man should be like. But the truth is like a needle under the skin, hidden deep and unsettling. In fact, women themselves believe what they say, but it's just the surface behind which another, darker desire lurks. And there's only one real way to fall in love with a woman and awaken in her real feelings. Say no to her. You think that by giving in to her, you're getting closer to the ideal in her eyes, but in fact, giving in without a fight, you lose a part of yourself. She sees it, feels you getting softer, your boundaries disappearing, you become an empty place, faceless and insignificant. And she needs someone who can stand his ground, who won't buckle under pressure. Because when you bend, you stop being a challenge. You become just another doll on the shelf that you can pick up and throw away when you get tired of it. Think about it. Why do relationships fall apart? Because when she tests you, provokes you, you make concessions over and over again, afraid of losing her, even though your inner voice is screaming at you. Don't do it. But every time you give in, you become predictable and she loses interest in you. Deny her something once and you'll make her stop and think. Your integrity is like a cold blade that can restore her perception. She's used to being surrounded by men who do anything for her smile. Even if she has mediocre looks, if she puts on makeup and posts racy photos on social networks, there will be men who will shower her with likes, who will try to please her. But these men are just puppets in her hands. They're too accessible, too simple. That's where your strength lies, not to be one of them. Don't try to be liked. Don't try to be comfortable. Imagine you see a woman who is used to attention from men, who knows that you can only give a sign and a crowd of men will be at her feet. You see this, and you realize that being the same is a path to nowhere. These men become a resource, a fuel for her vanity, not an object of desire, and you're one of the few who don't jump into that pool. You refuse to be part of that crowd. You say no. In that moment, you become more than a man. You become someone who stands out, someone who has value. In her eyes, only someone who knows how to say no, who isn't afraid to lose, who holds his boundaries. Only he becomes something more. He becomes a challenge to her. Understand, this world is full of crazy men who would give their last for a woman's fleeting attention. So remember, when you say no, you're not losing, you're gaining. You become a fortress that can't be easily conquered, and that's what attracts her, makes her come back to you again and again, trying to understand what kind of man you are, who is not ready to give her everything she has. And maybe that's when you'll see her desire begin to awaken. Maybe you're thinking right now, if I stand up for my principles and be unwavering, what if she just walks away? That's where the true skill lies, in being able to make your assertion of boundaries trigger her feelings. Yes, there is always a risk. There's always the possibility that she'll leave. But think about it. Is that fear worth deceiving yourself? To be unfaithful to yourself? No. You shouldn't be afraid of being unavailable. Your problem is that you're afraid of losing something that was never truly yours. You're shackled by a rusty chain that pulls you down, not allowing you to square your shoulders. When you constantly agree with her, when you give in without a fight, you become a shadow and a prisoner of her will. Her desires become your sentence and you lose your power. But the point of this game is really simple. Either you completely control the relationship with her or she pulls you into her net using your weaknesses. And there's no room for illusions, no third way. If you put it on a pedestal, if you underestimate your importance, then you will remain the one who is easy to break. But if you find the courage to stand on your own feet, to see your true worth, you will realize that strength lies in the ability to be yourself, in the ability to assert your limits. To learn that, you have to change who you are. Stop putting women before yourself. It's a simple truth known to everyone, but men keep falling into the same trap. How to learn how to do this we'll cover in the next few videos. For now, your main goal is to realize that you don't have to try to make a woman fall in love. Your goal is to make her want to fall in love. If your self-esteem is not at rock bottom, if you realize your value, if you have confidence and inner strength, you can keep almost anyone. Appearance, status, and money have nothing to do with it. Everything depends on your willingness to develop. So it is better to invest efforts in your own development, in what will make you stronger than trying to please someone and someone to fall in love. Because a man's real strength lies in his ability to hold his ground, even when it seems risky. Nocturne. End of journal.